It'll say live when it's live. I think it's live.
Yeah, live.
Hi. Hello, this is Dr. Rosie Kuhn, and this video podcast series is called Dilemmas of a Small Business Guru. And the reason I called it that is because every one of us who's beginning a business or in business, entrepreneur, visionary, we're all in service to growing ourselves as gurus. And so this is to support you in not only thinking about your own dilemmas, but seeing how other people who are experts in the field of guru-ness, small business guru-ness, be with their dilemmas of a small business. So today I'm with Tracy Wilson, who is in Australia, and her business, one of her businesses, Business Beyond 5. And welcome, Tracy.
Thanks so much for having me. Wonderful to be here.
I'm so excited. So where are you in Australia? Whereabouts?
So right now, I would normally say on the very sunny Gold Coast, but right now on the Gold Coast, it's very grey and raining. But yes, that's where I am. I'm on the Gold Coast, which is a fabulous place to be.
Great, and it's winter time there, isn't it? So that's why why it's grey and cold, huh?
Yeah. We don't have, it doesn't last very long, thankfully, Rosie. We only get winter a very short period of time, but today just happens to be one of those days.
Today is winter.
Today it's winter.
Yes. Tomorrow, something else.
So it will be beautiful sunshine.
Good. Tracy, tell us a little bit about your business, what you do. Give us your website so people already get a sense of where they can find you and what you're about.
Yeah, so as you were saying, I actually have two businesses. So coach and consultant. So my consulting business is called Business Beyond 5. So you can check me out at www.businessbeyond5.com. We do business coaching. So we predominantly work with small business owners, just as you were saying. And quite often they come to us because they have a dilemma, and they need some assistance in helping them move forward and move past that dilemma. So we do business coaching, write business plans for immigration purposes, growth, exit strategy, investor requirements. And we also do some online marketing, so help our clients with lead generation. So that's essentially what we do with Business Beyond 5.
Great.
And I've recently established, and I think this is what we're going to talk about today, but a new business that I decided I would do at the beginning of the year because my consulting business has gone extremely well, better than I imagined it would, stepping out of an employee type role. And I decided at the beginning of the year that I really wanted to help other, predominantly women, step out of their 9 to 5 or step out of their, or take their businesses to the next level. So the Consultants Vault was born, and I'm now helping some wonderful women put their own consulting businesses together from sort of that idea in their head right the way through to getting it launched and getting their first few clients on board. So that's going particularly well, and it's an absolute passion of mine to help others do that.
Great. So that's Business Vault, B-A-U-L-T.
So there's Business Beyond 5.
Yes.
And The Consultants Vault.
The Consultants Vault.
VAULT.com. That's
Great.
Right.
Excellent. And we'll put that in the description below so people will be able to find you that way.
Beautiful.
So what makes it a passion of yours to help others do what you were able to do for yourself?
Well, look, I'm going to say that I've been really fortunate in my life where I've had a lot of people who have always reached out and helped me. So I suppose this is about giving back, I think it also comes back to, I've got a very large family, so we're all about sort of helping one another. And when I suppose was growing up or had children very young, so had to do the corporate thing with young children, trying to get them back and forth to daycare and what have you, and found that when I looked back at that time of my life, I didn't really have a lot of opportunity to spend quality time with the children because I was always working. Now I'm in a position where I don't have to do that. I have flexibility. I've found a different way of creating a lifestyle and a business that I really do love. And I just think there's a better way. And I would like to be able to show, as I'm doing now, show other women that there is an alternative. You don't have to do the 9-to-5 grind, put the children in daycare, and run around frantically all the time. It's not always necessary.
Wow, that's really exciting. The thought that comes up in my mind is women who might be listening who are saying, that's not me. I have to do the 9-to-5. I can't juggle, and I can't deal with the flexibility and the fluidity of all of that. That's a dilemma for some people, in the sense that they desire the consistency, the stability, the security of a corporate or 9-to-5 job. That's a dilemma for some people.
Absolutely, and you're absolutely right. And it is, like I'm going to say, it's not for everybody. It's not. There are some people that actually prefer to have the stability, the consistency of a 9-to-5 job with very clear parameters around what it is that they should and shouldn't do, and they know that they're going to work from 9 till 5. That works well for some people. I suppose, helping people to overcome that dilemma is just allowing them to make an informed decision.
Right.
What else is there that is available? And is this something that could be suitable for me? And if it is, it's really just opening their eyes to what's available, what is possible, and then allowing them to make an informed decision about, is this right for me? Do I need to stick with my 9-to-5? If they decide that the dilemma is overcome, the 9-to-5 is right for me, then they move forward in that direction.
That's right.
And if not, we can explore some other alternatives, which may be setting up their own business in whatever field that may be.
Right. So that was obviously a dilemma for you, Tracy, that place where you were in business, like you said, in the corporate world, and it was just like, I got to shift that. But tell me what that was like for you when you were in that dilemma of, here I've got the stability and the security and the success, and I want something else. What was that like for you?
Well, I think it's quite interesting when I think back now, because at the time when I was in a corporate job and doing, thoroughly enjoyed it, doing really well, I actually didn't even think further afield than that. I always thought that I would climb the corporate ladder and I would die in that organisation. I would retire there. Mm-hmm. And then it wasn't until one day a lady came in, and she was a guest speaker at, I worked for a bank, and I actually organised for her to come in and speak to a large group of small business clients. And it wasn't until she did that, and it was actually my staff that said to me, Tracy, you could do that. You'd actually be really good at it. And then I had one of those light bulb moments, if that's what we call it, where I went, oh, I could, yeah, you're right. I think I could do that. And actually, I think I would do that quite well. And I think I would like that. So that was sort of my moment of my eyes being opened. And then I started exploring, well, what would that mean? What would that look like? Could I actually do that? So that's I suppose when the dilemma started, because It said, whoa, now I'm in this state of, I think there's something else. I think this really takes my fancy. I need to explore this more. But boy, if I do that, I'm leaving the security of a very well-paid job that has always held me in, good stead. I've been able to travel and do a whole lot of things with that organisation. If I step away from that, see you later, security, goodbye, that 9-to-5, all of those things
Adios.
Have been used to and accustomed to, I have to kiss goodbye, so to speak. But the obviously history is, I've moved on from there. So working through that dilemma, I'm very much a work out what are the pros and the cons. That's sort of how my brain works. I'm very much about, what if I do this? What could go wrong? What if I do it? What could go, absolutely right?
Exceptional, yes.
Yeah, and when I sat down and I went through that process and really thought about, well, what's authentically me? What do I really want to do? And I have to say now, I've always I knew that I always felt a little bit like a square peg in a round hole in the corporate world. So this other thing coming along was sort of like, whoa, this could be a really good thing. Mm-hmm. So, do the pros and cons. and decided that, hey, I've got nothing to lose. Just give this a red hot crack. Step out of your comfort zone, which I'd been used to for so many years, and give it a go. What's the worst that could happen?
Awesome.
Yeah, and the worst that could happen for me,
yes.
I kind of that. What was the worst that could happen? Well, I turn around and I go back.
Nice.
Go back to my corporate job.
Nice. Yeah. And that, I mean, I think that's a hard one for people to think, like, oh, if I leave, can I go back? And especially, I know people in their 50s, both men and women, who say, if I leave, I don't know that I can get back in. And I mean, that's just another one of those considerations of that, which can make it difficult, because I know for me, when I was taking a leave of absence so that I could go sailing for a couple of years. And it was like, I tried to make it so that I didn't have to actually make the commitment. I could bridge, like I had 6 months or something like that I could turn back if I wanted to and go back to that job. And I realized that by doing that, I wasn't giving myself the full commitment to really step into what's next for me. And it's a scary, scary place to let go of that level of security and stability.
Absolutely.
And especially you have children, so that's part of that challenge for you.
Oh yeah, you know, the dilemma in your head is, you know, am I going to continue to be able to put food on the table? What will happen if I can't find clients? What will happen without a regular income? So all of those things do certainly go through your head. And I think you make a really good point, because this is actually something that I do find with a lot of my clients when you sort of go through that bridging the gap. So we sort of almost put one foot out of our comfort zone and sort of put our toe in the water and have a little try, and does this feel right? What can often happen when we find ourselves in that situation is that we don't immerse ourselves fully into the new.
That's right.
And because we have this almost false sense of security that it's okay, I don't really have to give it my all over there, because I can actually run back to the security of my job.
Yes.
So sometimes it's actually better off, you're better to obviously get support in making that transition. So, you know, finding somebody, a coach or someone that can help you to transition out.
Yes.
But actually transitioning and severing that safety net, so to speak, so that you actually have to fully immerse yourself in the new and really give it your all, because there's no other option.
Yes. One of my clients is developing her coaching practice, and I kind of was like, how committed are you? Because her husband's retired and they've got a nice little cushion. So I was like, how committed are you to actually having the success you say you want? And because she wasn't following through to the degree that she would if, that kind of stuff. And so I called her on it. And I said, really, how committed are you to having the success of what you want, having successfully giving yourself what you want? And she had to think about that, because the cushion of not having to be that committed kept her from really fully engaging. And once she said, okay, I get it, then she leaped into commitment in the level of stuff started to happen. She met more people. She started networking more. She got more connected in ways that she wasn't before she had made that commitment, because she had the cushion. And so it's really important to consider that.
Absolutely. I think really good. Sorry, Rosie. I think that's a really good thing to consider if you are looking to make that transition too, because one of the things that I would write down is, what would prevent you from being all in?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And sometimes it is having that financial cushion or a cushion somewhere that you can fall back on, and you look at that as though it's a really good thing, because I've got this money behind me. It's okay. I'm going to be okay. But then in the other sense, it's actually more of a curse than it is a.
That's right. That's right. It's a hindrance. A lot of people who have, we call them trust fund babies over here, people who have the money already, and we will always have money. They have no reason to put themselves out into the world, to risk their sense of self, their sense of security and stability as it is. And I think that's true. There was a book that came out a long time ago. I think it was called The Cinderella Complex. And the woman who wrote it said how independent she was. Then she got married and went out and lived in the country with her husband and stopped being so independent, stopped being so self-fulfilled. And it's really challenging to stay attended to, I'll say, to that place that's fulfilled or not fulfilled by staying in the place of security and stability. So it's kind of fascinating to, people who have that level of security or stability, wherever that comes from. It's like, well, I don't really have to be vulnerable. I don't really have to risk if I don't want to. And it's like, well, what's at stake if you don't risk? And usually it's a sense of fulfillment, a personal and professional fulfillment.
Because there's a payoff in both fields, isn't there?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And it's like if you choose to stay in the corporate world or the 9-to-5ers or whatever that place is where you have that sense of stability and security, then let's coach to staying there and experiencing the fulfillment through that. But for me, it's all about the fulfillment of the human spirit. That's what I'm all about. So, and through the empowerment process. So it's like if my clients need to stay or want to stay in that place of 9 to 5, then I am totally willing to support you, and openly, not willing, but encouragingly excited about supporting you and staying and experiencing the fulfillment through that process. One of the things that you said that I think is really interesting is that you realize that place. I'm just sort of thinking, this is what I heard you say, that there's a part of you that was the round hole, the round peg in a square hole. And I'm curious how many people in the corporate world feel that way, and yet, again, the security and the stability, or the thinking like I can't do it on my own, gets in the way of them finding that place where there is the round hole for the round peg.
Yes. And I think there's even another layer to that too, Rosie. It's almost like this social expectation. And it's really interesting because the role that I had in the corporate world was, I would say, a significant role. I was a regional manager of a bank. So when people ask you, what do you do? And you said you're a regional manager of a bank, it's like, ooh, there's a certain level of, ooh, right, so she does that, a level of stature that came with that. So not only stepping away from that corporate life, moving away and setting up your own business, I can actually say I went through this almost like I call it an identity crisis.
Sure.
Because you sort of step away from that being a somebody, and now all of a sudden it's, what are you? Who are you? And you really have to, and this is where this authenticity thing starts to really, unfold, because you need to start understanding, asking yourself questions. Who am I? What do I do? What do I really want to do? What am I about? What do I want to be? All of those things you have to start really digging deep. Whereas in the role that I had, you were almost conditioned to be a certain way, to look a certain way, do a certain thing, and everything had, you were confined almost into this box.
Into the patternings, yes.
Yeah. So you really, so part of that dilemma too is understanding right now I'm on my own thing. Who am I? What do I do?
Yes.
I can't say I'm a regional bank manager anymore, regional manager of a large corporate organisation. You're not that anymore. Yes. So the role is dissolved. You don't have that to sit on anymore. It becomes more you. But I think one of the things I was going to say about being sort of stuck in that round peg in a square hole is the social expectation, maybe from friends, family, colleagues, that that's what you're supposed to do. Oh my God, what you mean you're leaving the security of your job? What are you thinking? Are you crazy?
Yeah.
So you've got all of that to contend and deal with at the same time. And whether that's true or not, it will be, the monkey in your mind will be saying these things to you. So it's, again, it's important that you go through a process of feeling very comfortable about the decision that you're going to make, and that you get support to do it.
Yes. Yeah. The level of inspiration has to be strong enough to support that while you're in the midst of the leap, if you will. You have to have enough of the support from the inner side, but also the external support to support you through that. It's so challenging, and especially, I mean, if you say, "Oh, I'm going to start a small business," it's like there's millions of small businesses. What makes you think you're going to be successful? And 90% of all small businesses fail within the first 18 months. It's like, good luck, baby, that kind of thing. And so you're kind of up against all of that with your inspiration that says, yeah, but I'm called, like you said, with the both of your businesses, I'm called to do something different. And is that call enough to keep you moving in the direction of that leap? It's very challenging, very challenging.
I think for somebody, if they're sitting in a job right now, a 9 to 5, or as an employee, and you're feeling uneasy, and it might not be that you even understand what that unease is about right now, but if you're sitting there and you're feeling like, I've described it as a round peg in a square hole, you're feeling anything like that, that is usually an indicator that you are looking for some sort of change. You need, and all I would say is explore that more. Do you have to take the leap? No, you don't. But I think you do need to do is to satisfy your own self that you've made the inquiry, that you've explored it, that you've now able to make an informed decision, and you know what else is available.
Yeah. And it's like, because I'm all about the wholeness of our being, right? Which includes our spiritual, the expression of our essential nature. And if I'm sitting at my desk and I'm kind of agitated or irritated, and I'm not feeling fulfilled, to whatever degree that is, for me, I want to be accountable to say, okay, so there's something else for us here in this lifetime, beyond this desk job or beyond this, whatever it is. And I'm willing to be courageous enough, like you say, to explore the possibility of what that might be. And you may never leave the job, but you've given yourself the opportunity to explore what's really true for yourself beyond what's expected of you, or what you've come to expect of yourself in this job.
Absolutely.
So the willingness to be courageous in our own life, I think, and for me, that's what we want to pass on to our children is, hey, be courageous in your life and find that place of because dilemmas face us every single day, whether we're in business or as a parent, or just in terms of our health and well-being, we face dilemmas every day where we're having to choose. And do we choose based on fear, the fear of loss? Change is always there's a fear of loss, or there's going to be a loss of something when we make a change. And so we fear that loss, like the stability or the identity, like you said, or the prestige of being and being able to say the words. I'm a regional, bank manager. It's like I'm going to lose that. And who am I, without that? And who am I without the parent, or who am I without the partner or the spouse, or who am I without the family? And we start, like you said, peeling away these layers of identity that we've been wearing, and we finally get to explore the truth of and the authenticity of what is, or who is, beyond it all. So, and
it's a wonderful thing when that actually happens, and it's, again, it is an interesting. I look back now, and this conversation is actually making me think about: did I think that would happen? Did I think that would actually be the outcome of this process? No, the answer is no.
Right.
You know, it didn't even cross my mind that I knew I wanted to do something that was me, that I was going to feel really good about. But did I really think it was going to be about authenticity? No. I thought it would be about, you know, getting some flexibility, being able to work from home, work around my children, all of these, again, probably labelled things.
Yes.
That would come from making the change. But it's actually much, much more than that.
Yes. Yes. Because it's the fulfillment. There's an aspect of fulfilling who you are in finding and discovering your calling, your excitement, what makes your day worth living.
Yeah, what lights you up.
What lights you up. Yeah. Yeah.
Totally.
Tracy, there was another thing we were talking about, and the difference between the mindset of an employer or employee and the mindset of an entrepreneur or business person. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, again, I and this is really, we had this conversation, Rosie, because something that has happened fairly recently, actually, in my life, where I got to actually go back to an event that was run by one of my state managers for the organisation that I worked for. And anyway, through this event that I went to, I had the opportunity to meet up with a lot of my old colleagues.
Nice.
And it was really nice to see them. But what it also highlighted was, oh my gosh, like this employee mentality. So talking about sort of clocking in, clocking out. I don't want to do, it's not part of my job description. I don't, you know, I'm not wanting to do X, Y, Z. I'm not happy about. So all of these almost, I'm going to say, you know, complaints and whinges and whines that I was like, oh my God, I remember that, which you certainly don't get now. And so shifting from that, it is almost like as an employee, you have half a foot in. And not everybody's like this, I might say, but it's almost like half a foot in, because you'll go so far, but you won't go all the way, because and you hear this a lot, why would I? It's not my business.
Yes.
So shifting that, so shifting from that sort of mentality to now I'm an entrepreneur, now I'm my own business, you know, I have my own business, whatever it is that I do has an impact. So if I do nothing today, I'm going to achieve nothing and I'm going to get paid nothing.
Yeah.
Whereas in the employee you know, realm, you get paid regardless. I mean, until your boss says, hey, you're not doing anything and now you need to leave.
Yes.
You know, there's quite a big quantum shift in mindset from that employee mentality or employee mindset, I should say, to an entrepreneurial mindset, where you're constantly thinking, and you do have, the dilemmas are different. The dilemmas are significantly different when it's your own business, because every decision that you make as an entrepreneur and in your own business, the buck stops with you.
Yes.
So if you make a wrong decision, you've got to be prepared to step up to the plate, own that decision, own that mistake, sort it out, and move forward. Whereas as an employee, and I know this from experience, some of my staff would go, well, that wasn't my fault. And what would happen? It would get passed up the chain. So I would end up having to take ownership of it, fix the problem.
Yes.
So I think there's quite, on so many different levels, does the mindset shift take place. But I think the vast majority of that mindset shift is around responsibility.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm now the person who needs to be solely responsible for what goes on here, and how much of me shows up in any one day will actually determine what my result is going to be, and how much of me am I prepared to have show up in my business every day, and who am I going to allow to run my business? Is it going to be sort of my logic brain, or my creative, or is it both? Am I who's going to show up to run it today?
Yes.
And it very much reminds me, actually, Rosie, of in the corporate world, we very much talked about leave your baggage at the door. And meaning that almost like we would expect staff to have a home life. Now that's what happened at home.
Sure.
And now you're at work. Now you need to act a certain way, do a certain way, be a certain way, because this is who you are here.
Yes.
And never the two shall sort of meet. Leave your baggage at the door. So whatever's gone on in your life, we don't really want to know about that. Leave it outside and come here, show up and put on a good show.
Yep.
Whereas in business world, it's, I look at it, it's one. You're bringing the whole of you to the table each and every day.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree. And it's, the framework of what comes to mind is like there's the corporate or the business culture of somebody else's business, in a sense, as an employee. There's a culture, and there's a level of integrity and a level of non-integrity that is tolerated. Okay, so even people who are highly in integrity can feel like I don't belong here because this level of integrity is not welcomed here. But for most of us, we live in either families or communities or businesses where there's a level of integrity and a level of non-integrity that's tolerated. So we can get away with not being accountable. We can get away with saying, yeah, well, I didn't do that. It wasn't my fault. And it's accepted because it's part of the culture. And like you're saying, and this is true, I'm sure, for people who are in small businesses, they don't want to, there are people who don't want to be accountable either. And that's why the statistic for business failures is so high, is because you have to be accountable for what shows up. You have to be accountable for the decisions and the choices you make. Not only the significant, this brought in money, this did not, this brought in more clients, this did not, but the level of integrity, like what happens when I choose based on something that's not true for me? What happens when I'm interacting with people who are not of a level of integrity that I want to work with? You know, what happens to me as a human being, as the personal me, as the whole professional? It's like you're saying, there's no way that you can leave the baggage at the door. There's no way, because we're all of it all the time. We can compartmentalize it to a degree, but my heart has to be present, as far as I'm concerned, in every business decision I make. Otherwise, I'm not going to be happy, and my clients aren't going to be happy, and the books aren't going to look like they look, and the videos aren't going to look like they look, because I'm not there. So I really appreciate you bringing that piece in, that place of integrity, accountability, and responsibility. So this is part of that place of small business guru. The guru doesn't live in that place of non-integrity or lack of accountability or irresponsibility. It's just not part of that. So I really appreciate you bringing that in.
Yeah, no problem.
Tracy, we're wrapping up. So once again, tell us where we can find you.
Yeah, so you can find me in two spots. So you can, if you're interested in, you're sitting in that 9-to-5 job right now and you're feeling a little bit uncomfortable, maybe you're feeling like that round peg in a square hole, the place to find me is at theconsultantsvault.com. You could also join our Facebook group, which is Consultants on a Mission. So you'll find me on Facebook there, and you can join a load of other wonderful consultants from around the world. If you are a business owner that is finding yourself in a dilemma, that needs some help to move forward, the place to find me would be at www.businessbeyond5, and it's the number 5.com. And we'd be more than happy to help you in either one of those places. That's where you'll find me, and we're happy to help.
Good. Excellent. Well, thank you so much for being here with me today. I wish we had more time. It's just like,
I know, you and I
could talk for a long time.
Hours.
Yes. And maybe we'll talk again. That would be great.
I hope so. Well, thank you so much for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I hope to, we'll keep in contact, no doubt.
All right. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye.